JP hit the streets trying to move the troop supply. He bumped into a dealer who was incredibly high. The guy was eyeing boxes with the hunger in his face. He said, "I need those Thin Mints, man, I'm floating out in space." He checked his empty pockets, didn't have a single dime, but he offered up a barter that would stand the test of time. He was drooling on the pavement, staring at the tag-alongs. He said these beans are legendary like the classic Cheech and Chongs. JP traded everything, the charitable store, for the original genetics from the days of yore. He said, "Take these magic seeds, the ancient land race breeds." He brought the baggie home and his wife began to scream. She asked him where the cash was and she shattered his whole dream. She grabbed the little packet, said, "You traded them for beans." He retorted, "They're magic seeds," creating quite a scene. She chucked him out the window and she tossed him in the dirt. JP started crying, wiping tears upon his shirt. But something started happening beneath the garden soil. The roots began to dig and then the stem began to coil. We woke up in the morning and the sun was blocked out tight. A massive tower of sativa grew up overnight. A giant stalk of green, the biggest pot plant ever seen. The whole town smelled like skunk and now the cops were on the way. But all the local stoners want to celebrate the day. They were asking when's the harvest, rubbing sticky on their sleeves. JP grabbed his phone and said, "We're climbing up the leaves. We're climbing up the green stalk way above the town. We're never coming down. Yeah, we're climbing up the green stalk to the castle in the sky. We're gonna get so high." JP called me up and Danny and we grabbed Sticky Pete from town. We started hiking up the stem, screaming, "Dude, just don't look down." The air got thick with resin clouds about halfway to the top, and that is where poor Stinky Pete finally had to stop. He took a breath of contact high and looked me in the eye. He yelled, "I'm way too stoned. I can't move a single bone." Ultimate couch lock kicked him in. He couldn't hold the pen. He slipped right off the leaf. To everyone's sudden grief, he fell back to the ground without a single sound. Cloud layer and stumbled on the lawn. A house fit for a giant where the curtains were all drawn. We saw the massive grow-up building stretching out for miles. We broke into the storage room and saw the different piles. It was a stoner's paradise. We didn't check the price. We saw the jars of dankest nugs as big as cars and trucks, and shelves of gossip trays that must have cost $1 billion. There was lead reason, sugar, crumble, shatter, wax, and sauce. Diamonds, rose, and batter hash, we didn't care about the cost. Bubble, ash, and distillate. It was magnificent. Then the door creaked open and the giant stepped out. He looked down at us and he started to shout. Joint. He said, "I am so lonely," getting right to the point. We sat upon his furniture like toddlers in a chair, and suddenly a smoke cloud started forming in the air. Out of the fog walked a man we all knew well. How he got up the beanstalk, man, I really couldn't tell. It was the D-O-double-G in a tracksuit made of gold. He said, "The giant sticky icky never getting old." Now we're chilling on the green stalk with Snoop and the giant guy. We are never gonna die. Yeah, we are making plans on the green stalk to move the product down to every single town. Snoop laid out the business plan upon the giant's table. He said, "We will drop the prices down as low as we are able. We will use the stock as transfer, slide the bales to the ground, and make the loudest noise without making super sticky skunk. Snoop held up a lighter that was basically a torch. We were coughing out our lungs, sitting on that massive porch. The smoke was thick as fog lights rolling off the deck. I felt the heavy pressure hitting right behind my neck. He smoked us out, yeah, he smoked us out. We have never been this high, floating in the stratosphere, way up in the sky, literally miles above the ground, figuratively lost and can't be found. We have never been this high. So high.